I have decided to create this video to help you understand what I want you to do for the extra credit project for your Unit 1 test. So this is the exact problem from your test that I'm going to work through for the example, and then you can choose one from your packet that's just not this problem and work it out using similar methods to what I'm showing you here. A few things to keep in mind: you should do a test run of your video before you do the whole video and make sure that the volume is working and make sure that it's not upside down as you're recording it. That can happen sometimes. YouTube Capture is a great tool, especially if you have an iPhone. If not, it's not mandatory. It just makes the upload process really easy. So let's get started. So first I put my title up here, that this is linear programming, and my problem. I wrote it all out nice and neat, so I have it here as a reference. We are going to make and sell some bread. We have some information about Irish soda bread, which is made with 2 cups of flour and 1/4 cup of sugar. We know that Kugelhof cake is made with 4 cups of flour and 1 cup of sugar, and we can make a profit of $1.50 on each loaf of Irish soda bread and $4 on each Kugelhof cake. But we only have 16 cups of flour and 3 cups of sugar. We need to know how many of each kind of bread should you make to maximize the profit, and what is the maximum profit. So I organized everything over here. I decided that X is going to be my Irish soda bread, Y is going to be the Kugelhof cake. Just simply because they gave me Irish soda bread first, I put that as X, and Kugelhof cake was second, I put that as Y. And then I organized the table of information as they gave it to me. So I put my 2 main variables at the top, and I put my constraints over here on the left. So I have my flour and my sugar. Those are the 2 things that are limiting how much I can make, because I only have 16 cups of flour and I only have 3 cups of sugar. So as you reread the problem, you can pick out that Irish soda bread is made with 2 cups of flour and 1/4 cup of sugar. So I put the 2 here for flour, 1/4 cup of sugar. And it says Kugelhof cake is made with 4 cups of flour and 1 cup of sugar. So I put those right there. And then it says the profit on each Irish soda bread is $1.50. So I wrote that here for my objective function at the bottom. And Kugelhof cake is a $4 profit on each cake. So I put that right there. And then I just made a note that I'm going to look for the maximum profit in just a few minutes. So from all my organized data, I can write out my constraints now. The constraints are what are going to help me find the points of my feasible region that are like extreme values. But we'll look at that in a minute. So I wrote out the first line is going to be 2x plus 4y is less than or equal to 16. And the second one is 1/4 x plus 1y is less than or equal to 3. We can usually state that our x and y are both going to be greater than or equal to 0 because we won't have a negative amount of Irish soda bread and we won't have a negative amount of Kugelhof cake. Our objective function is where we get our profit from. So I wrote that out right here for later. P of x is equal to $1.50 for every loaf of Irish soda bread plus $4 for every loaf of Kugelhof cake. And then we're going to use that later. So we come over here. I have solved for y for this red constraint, so it's easy to follow. And I got y is less than or equal to -1/2 x plus 4. And then I solved the green one over here. So I got y is less than or equal to -1/4 x plus 3. I graphed them in the color that matches still, so the red one you can see and the green one you can see. And then I shaded underneath both lines because this would be where they would overlap. So it creates sort of this quadrilateral shape right here. So any point in this shaded area would be a possible amount of Irish soda bread and Kugelhof cake. But the most important ones are these ones in the corners because those are the extreme amounts of how much we can make with each one. We can use up all of our flour and sugar and be the least amount of wasteful and make the maximum amount of profit. We want to look at those points. So we have 0, 0, 0, 3, 4, 2, and 8, 0. So I took those 4 points and just made another little table over here underneath my objective function. And then I plugged them into the objective function to figure out the profit. So even though 0, 0 is pretty obvious, it's good just to write it for notation that you included it. But we know it didn't work out because that was only 0. I plugged in 0, 3, and that gave me a pretty decent profit of $12 if I only made 3 Kugelhof cakes. But this was a better option if I would make 4 Irish soda breads and 2 Kugelhof cakes, then I would make $14 profit. And then 8 Irish soda breads, that was only $12, so I need to go back to this one and stick with the best option. So my conclusion is that I should make 4 loaves, because that's my X value, of Irish soda bread and 2 Kugelhof cakes for a maximum profit of $14. So this concludes my example of linear programming. I hope that you take advantage of the extra credit opportunity, and let me know if you need any extra help making your video.